Hey, I'm Roland and we're taking a look at the OnePlus 6. The OnePlus 6 is OnePlus's latest high-end flagship device, coming at the usual price points that are going to be a tiny bit higher than before. They haven't officially told us what the prices are going to be, but it's definitely looking pretty rad because you get this 6.28-inch screen that is probably known to some people from the Oppo and Vivo devices, but there's nothing against using global supply chains to get access to pretty decent panels, because this one is actually a very good panel. You get a 2280 by 1080 resolution on here, Super AMOLED, as I said, decent viewing angles. There is no blue tint as far as I can tell. You also get this notch up here which houses the front-facing camera, which has a 16 megapixel sensor as far as I can remember. There's also a speaker up here and your earpiece, and right next to that on the left are the light and distance sensors. OnePlus made sure to tell us that they're trying to make sure that no notifications get lost behind the notch, and you can also make sure that it gets blacked out basically when using certain apps to make sure it doesn't look crap basically. So they're trying to make sure that all works. You get the small bezel at the bottom, which is just because the availability of displays where you have the ICs sitting on the back is not given at this point, at least not to the Android manufacturers, so that's why they're sticking with this tiny notch. You just have to put all the electronics for the screen down here. You get the typical Android buttons, but you also get the on-screen gestures that OnePlus introduced on the 5T, and under the hood is the Snapdragon 845 octa-core SoC running at up to 2.8 gigahertz, so they're going a bit higher than Samsung, for example, on the S9. You also get 6 or 8 gigs of flash storage, and you get new memory variants. So you start out with a 664, there's going to be an 128, and for the first time there's also going to be a 8 gigabyte RAM version with 256 gigabytes of flash storage. One thing that still is not available on the OnePlus 6, just like on the predecessor, is the Microsd card slot, which got lost, and they're only using 2 nano SIM card slots. They have moved the alert slider to the right. It used to be on the left there where the volume rocker is now. It works just like before. You can use it to show all notifications, a bunch of notifications, like the most important ones, or no notifications. Down here is the power button. It feels very sturdy. There's nothing slippery or wobbly about this. The whole thing comes in this pretty dope looking rose gold finish on the frame. This is a special edition model that's going to be available from June. It's called Silk White, and it contains, like, it has a glass back just like the front. It's Gorilla Glass 5, pretty sturdy and supposed to withstand all kinds of scratches. But under that is a layer of thin foil where you have like pearl powder applied to the plastic foil that will make this device shine pretty nicely. So if I turn around the device a bit here, you can probably see that it's got this slight yellowish tint to it in the white, and it looks pretty awesome. Up here you have the 2 cameras. One of them is using an IMX376 sensor and the other one is using the IMX519. They're both Sony sensors. The main camera has 16 megapixels resolution, and the other one runs at 20 megapixels resolution. They both have f1.7 apertures, and under that is the dual LED flash plus the fingerprint reader, which is supposed to unlock the device just as usual very quickly. You get a headset jack at the bottom, which is important nowadays. Everybody keeps cutting them, except OnePlus is keeping it. USB 2.0 in a USB Type-C port down here. Dash charge compatible, charging that 3,300 milliamp hour battery, which hasn't been changed, but it's supposed to last longer because you're using the new Snapdragon 845. And there is your speaker right there. The whole thing runs on Oxygen OS, just as usual. I'm not allowed to show you the UI yet, and it's based on Android 8.1 as to be expected. I don't know about the pricing. It's going up a tiny bit, but it's going to be available globally from May 22nd.